Hey everybody, this is Podcast for We. What did you think of that name when I called it that?
Oh, yeah, I
It,
get it.
it's a spin on me, but we because it's
Well, because
us.
you're evolving, you're
Yeah,
moving forward.
yeah, more people. That's good. Well, I'm your host K Dog. You want to be called Evil Maximus from now on?
Actually, does my name show up on the screen?
I don't know. Actually, I think it should, right?
No, like is my name on the screen?
For me, it is, but I mean,
In the recording, does it show up? Damn, I
I
might.
I, I can't remember. You know what? I can look it up right now, but we're all talking and such. So, how's your week been? Your
Uh,
coronavirus?
well, I'm working from home, so I'm lucky I get to do that.
No, but like I mean anything like a fight with some random person coughing in your face. I've been seeing that in the news a lot.
No, I did go to the store to buy some stuff, and it looked like everybody was kind of respecting those circle stickers that they're putting on the floor. Like please stand here 6 feet apart from everybody else.
Hmm.
I haven't fought with anybody.
You,
Uh,
you know what? Your name doesn't show up on the recording.
oh, good.
I just checked.
Nice. Um, it was funny though because I went to pay with my card at a drive-through, and I felt this is the immature side of me, right? Because it was a female, and she goes, "Stick it in here," and I'm like, so I decided not to make any jokes.
That's yeah. Nowadays, yeah, you'd be considered a Harvey Weinstein or some shit like that. You
But there
know.
was something really dirty too on a Cat in the Hat knows that. I don't know. I search it up and play it for you later.
I was just thinking about Harvey Weinstein the other day, and it was you know how he's raping people and such. I'm trying to. There was another person that's done that and got away with it, and I can't remember what it was. And no one says anything. I wish I'd remember. Oh man, it would have been a good topic.
Kevin Spacey,
No. It's but he got away with it. That's the thing, and no one says anything because he did do that. But
Michael Jackson.
no, those are kids. Yeah, no. Well, anyways, you've been watching Tiger King.
Yeah, I'm 3 episodes in. I'm gonna try to watch the rest of that tonight.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. After the first episode, I was hooked. I, everybody's insane. It's like everybody's crazy. And then when you think a normal person comes along, turns out they're crazy too. They might be crazier than everybody else.
Yeah, well, I remember watching it, and it was like it led one direction, and then it goes another. Like I thought it was just about this one guy, and then people were talking, and it was like I was like, oh, this person's sane, and they're like, oh no, they're not. No, they're not. Every single fucking person in there is crazy.
I was looking for a specific meme. I had to pause it because I was doubled over laughing my ass off. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Uh, when
With
he when the girl's arm gets shredded.
okay,
Joe
why?
Exotic. Joe Exotic goes into the store where all of the people that are visiting his
Yeah,
zoo.
yeah,
Are.
yeah.
He's like, hey, I just want to let you know before you hear about it in the news, one of our employees got their arm ripped off. But it was the reaction of the people. They're like,
Like, is this real?
is this part of the show? Because he also said that the tiger was going to pee on us. You know,
I don't remember that part, but I do remember the
it's
Asian
one of the
lady.
jokes that he makes when the people get there. He's like, you might get peed on by a tiger. And
Oh
if
yeah.
it does happen, we have T-shirts in the zoo store, that says I got peed on by a tiger.
I've seen that before where the I don't know why they do that, but they spray them like real like a shotgun. They
Do
don't just pee on them; they spray on them.
do you remember Kimball Park had a little zoo
Yes, it did. It did. I remember that.
with the little like spider monkeys? I don't know what kind of monkeys they were.
Whatever happened to that place?
Well, it's flat now. I don't know what happened to it. They tore it down as part of the little playground area. But I remember the monkeys in there throwing their crap at people. I remember that. I remember them like spitting and hissing at people and then throwing their shit at people and people throwing stuff back. I felt pretty bad for those guys. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's all fun and games until you get a poo mustache. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, that Tiger King is good, and like I hope this opens the door for more documentaries like this, like about people and how crazy everything is, or something like that. Because like like when you watch it, you really do think it's just about like, well, I mean, when you watch it, when you, I don't know, it's like you see, oh, it's a documentary, and you see the trailer, and it's like tigers and people and shit, you know, and then
I'm
then it,
watching. I'm taking it all with a grain of salt. You know, I don't know how real it is because you can edit it to where these people are more caricatures. You know, so I'm really eager to finish the series and then start, you know, reading about the events to see, you know, well, what's real, what's not real, because
well,
producers are thinking different things than what they're showing in the show.
there's a guy who records all of this. This is all like back footage. So what he did was he wanted to record a reality TV show. So he recorded everything. And so what I don't get it though, because some of this is like he records.
It's all from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
The high quality stuff and the interviews with him outside of jail.
Yeah.
They're from 5 years ago.
Yeah, and then like I think he also has his own show. So this is all like taken from his archives. Like he posted some of this shit up on the thing.
And I don't even know. I mean, because where I'm at, he's in jail. You know? So is he out now? What's going on? And I'm trying so hard not to look at any of the memes or anything.
I hear you. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's a good. Yeah, they're related. They're all related. That's the secret.
Yeah, where I'm at right now, the episode that I just finished watching is where they're getting into the tiger lady, the tiger queen, you know, at the Big Cat Sanctuary. Just kind of did like one whole episode of did she or didn't she kill her husband? Yeah,
and that's the memes now. Everyone's all like, did she kill him? And it's like it's funny because like the way they did it, they like they frame it like. Dun, dun, dun.
That's why I'm trying to reserve my judgment, because then they show her like riding her bike in slow motion to make it look evil. I'm just like
because the first two episodes
exactly what they're doing.
That would I know what you're saying. It's crazy though, because like you see it and it's like, is this like what? Okay, when before that episode, I know what you're talking about. Before that episode, she just like seems like a normal person. And then they're just shooting the shit, and I was like, "Oh, she's the side of good." And then, then you see his side. He goes, "Look, she's fucking caging them and shit. Look at this shit." And then you're just like, "Whoa, man, he's just crazy." And then
she's got her own cult too, you know, with the different shirts representing different levels within the cult, you know.
Yeah.
And enticing them to stay and slave there just a little bit longer and a little bit longer.
And she's not fucking them though. That's the thing.
Was that?
She's not fucking him though. That's the only difference.
Right. So far, I'm looking at it. So far, she's obviously not as abusive as those other guys are. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
one dude, he said, "Oh yeah, when I met him, I didn't care about teaching me how to train tigers. I want to know how he trained them women."
Yeah.
You know, everybody everybody acknowledged that these dudes were able to kind of, get into a person's mind, not just females but males too, get into their minds and basically, get them to be their followers, almost like
the power of tigers. Yeah. That is a weird thing though. Like, how can you convince somebody to work that many hours for free and then like to eat retired food?
I mean, you look at abusive relationships. You don't have to look at something like Tiger King. An abusive relationship could be a cult of, one person basically just kind of falling into that gambler's addiction, where they've already invested so much of their life and their time and given up a lot of other things,
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. Yeah.
My story, I was kind of there, not fully there, but I mean, I disappeared from the crew for like 5 years, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that, but it's just weirder when it's a girl. And I get when a girl could do that to a guy, but the girl was doing it to guys and girls. And we're not talking about like fucking. We're talking about like just making them think that if you just try a little harder, you can go to the next step. And this is about fucking taking care of tigers. You know what I mean? This isn't like to get to some kind of a glory of like, 90 billion year contract or some bullshit like that. This is just like, so you could take care of this tiger.
That's an easier sell then, it actually becomes an easier sell. You know, you're not trying to sell them on something super crazy. It's like, hey, I've got these tigers. You know, you want to help me raise them, and they're really
Yeah.
cool, and they're cuddly, and you can raise them up, and you be part of their lives. And all of a sudden, they're there 7 days a week.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
that's a
even
rough
houses
go.
for each of his girls.
Yeah, a lot of fucking going on with that one guy though, man. He's fucking all those chicks. And I didn't get. They never come back to that one lady who married him when she was like 18 or whatever.
Oh, they don't.
That no, I don't think they do. Like,
It was
I
pretty
mean,
heavy in the second episode, I think.
yeah, because they talk about him in an episode, but I don't think they ever they come back to him, you know, in clips, but they don't really do any like. You don't dive deeper. In fact, he's not even that important to the grand scheme of things. It cracks down between Tiger guy and this lady,
Huh.
and a bunch of other shit, of course.
Yeah, that guy that got busted for smuggling drugs.
Oh yeah.
Interesting, freaking crazy dude, man. I'm just like,
Yeah, yeah, that was like its own little story, and that never gets revisited.
oh man, that guy was interesting.
Yeah, I think these little documentaries are great. Like, okay, so there was one before this called The Pharmacist. That one was pretty good too, because you think it's about one thing, then it's another, then it goes back again. Oh,
That one's on my watch list.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
Netflix is killing it.
Did you catch that Dave Chappelle,
Oh, the
Mark Twain?
yeah, Mark Twain Awards. Yeah, I actually seen it before it came out on Netflix
Oh,
at
cool.
entirety. Like, there was like little clips that you could see on YouTube.
All right. Yeah, I dug that. I thought that was really cool.
Hmm.
We'll see him back in the day. I forgot he had done all this. I forgot he was in Men in Tights.
Oh yeah. Half Baked, Men in Tights. Yeah, those were really good.
Men in Tights, man. I grew up on that movie.
That's true. Men in Tights was kind of good, but Half Baked was like,
I didn't watch that. I mean, I wasn't really into weed culture when that came out. I think we were still
me
high.
either. Me either. Yeah. Well, I mean, just yeah. I guess you got to be deep in that kind of world to get those jokes. But even then, it's not that great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Pineapple Express.
Ah,
I watched that when I was older.
it's all right. It's all right. But once again, once I got older, that's still like I don't know. I never liked those movies. Have you watched anything else since last time we talked?
No, I'm waiting for Final Fantasy to get here, man. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
tomorrow, yeah.
I've been
That
like,
sucks, man. I don't have enough time to play. Like if I were to play, it'd be at night tomorrow. I only get like a couple hours in because I gotta wake up.
I did put a new set of plates on my car. There's the new plate right here, but I'm gonna put this is gonna be the one that goes in the front. I already put the back one on there.
On the Porsche.
Yeah.
Does it say I Corona you?
No, it says S91X. No one's gonna get it. No one's gonna know what it is until they look it up.
Oh,
It's the Starfighter that Porsche designed for Star Wars.
what the fuck does that look like?
So there's a Starfighter. It's dumb. It doesn't look anything like a Porsche, but they put some Taycan. Here, I'll move over so you can search it.
S91X.
Yeah, you just type that in and it'll come up. It's the Pegasus.
All right, let me share a screen here.
So I kind of did it to combine my love of Porsche with my love of Star Wars.
Huh.
And then, like, gel the two.
That's legit. Let me share a screen. That's what it looks like, everybody. This thing. Oh, that's fucking tight.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I don't know how. It's a cool design, but it doesn't really look. It doesn't make me think of Porsche.
Okay, so there was a couple things that I noticed, and then it came through in a couple of articles. You see
Okay.
where that little R2D2 is sitting?
Yeah.
Okay,
This
so
thing.
Porsches, the rear windows on the Porsches tend to look like that, and so do the pillars that run down the side of the rear windows.
Hmm.
And then in the front, the headlights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see it.
The cluster is actually off of their electric vehicle, the Porsche Taycan.
Huh.
So, and then the rest is just, I guess, just them being creative. It looks sick though. I like how it looks a lot. I want to get a model of it.
What did you think of that Star Wars thing I sent you?
That was cool.
Right?
I would watch that.
It doesn't make sense how awesome it is. You know what I mean?
And you said that it would lend itself to anime. I think it would lend itself to anime. I think they're good films, or movies. Most of them.
It just seemed a little bit more magical when it was anime like that. Like, is this it? The anime original, the first one, or which one is it? It's this one, right? Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that thing was cool, man.
You know what the song is?
Huh?
This is from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the first intro.
Damn, I watched that so long ago. I didn't even recognize it.
Like, here, I'm gonna show you. Like, just that right there, like how he's walking in. That's they fucking get it.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. The quick cuts, that the
And like this part right here, like
staring into the sun.
when he's looking at the two suns, that was way better done than it was in the actual movies and such. Well, I can't play the music. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, he looks a little bit more like wanting, like there's something up there, and then his face turns to like determination, like I'm gonna.
Yeah. Because like, okay, so in the movie he is looking, and I guess that scene is supposed to be him wanting, but I don't know. That conveyed it.
Like more like it sucks to be here.
Oh my god, he's such a whiny bitch. In the movie, he's a whiny guy. But I see the sentiments of what they're getting, and whoever did this anime thing, they fucking get it. Look at that. Look how they did like this part right here.
When it pans back, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it like encompasses like the villainy of who he is, and it just makes it more epic. And can you imagine if that was like you're coming into it such? And then this right here, the way the colors and the silhouettes work, I mean, it looks like a dream, and it makes it more fantasy. Oh man.
Yeah, you could pause that screen and make that like a screensaver right there. All these scenes, you can pause them and make them screensavers almost.
And then this is actually right here when they do this scene. It's cool that they do it this way because it makes you think of what was it, Rogue One, because that's what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's actually the same scene when in the beginning of the when they're like blowing off the gate. But then they just made it dark, and like that makes it way better though.
It's a lot scarier.
Because if you watch that scene again in Star Wars like 4,
right,
it's kind of dopey, And then let's see. Oh, this is funny too. Right here, I'm gonna play the song. And when he goes, wow, watch. Okay, so
yeah, because it looks like Obi-Wan saying it. I was like, why did he do that? I actually didn't like that. I thought it was funny, but it took me out of it.
Yeah, it did. But like, what is he supposed to be saying?
I don't know.
And like this scene's cool too with the lightning, the lightsaber.
Yeah, he's all
like the power,
Forces flowing through him. Chewie looks sick,
doesn't he? And it looks like they're like a team. They're like ready to have fun,
Oh, I like that he hits the hyperdrive and then it fails. Yeah.
His face. Did you see his face? He's like,
yeah, that's more of an Empire Strikes Back thing, but yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, what's going on?
Is there a bunch of them?
No. Oh yeah, there's a whole mess. There's like 8 of these things or something like that. Look at these little battles that they do.
Is it the same person that did this one? I'd like that too. That was really cool. That reminded me of
it makes it more epic.
That reminded me of Gundam when they're like flying into a battle and then in the background it's just like
it makes it look like that old barge-ish,
Barge. Yep. We're not gonna make it.
Oh geez, I got goosebumps. And this is cool too. Like the determination, he's shooting and shit. It's way more action packed. And then these two are fighting, these legendary Derrys. That's cool too. See, it does like some kind of a force scene. Like he's using the force in a way. Now this scene never happened. Look at that. And then he fight. Why? Yeah, it was good. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but it was pretty good. That's good shit, though, right?
Hey man,
have you seen all of them?
All of those anime intros?
Mm-hmm. There's like 8 of them.
No, I'm gonna have to watch them.
Oh, they're good. They're epically yummy.
What do you think of Maverick getting pushed back to December?
It did. I didn't hear about that. Well, I pretty much knew that was going to happen though. There's no way that's. What are
I,
they going to do?
I guess I'm glad that they did it. Like,
So you
I
can see
want
it
to
in
watch it.
theater.
Yeah, I want to watch it in Irvine. I want to watch it on the big, legit IMAX, not the
Hmm.
digital.
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, at least I hope they release it in the 70 millimeter. But oh god, that's a long damn wait.
It is. It is. It is. It's weird that they do it that way. I mean, there's. Well, I guess. I mean, people are dying and shit. What can you do?
Yeah, I guess it's a shitty thing to complain about.
I know. Like, yeah, it's like first world problems. You know, I hate the fact that they did this, and then people are dying. You're like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Dude. I can
Well,
say,
we're all gonna wait for Maverick together.
there you go. Well, yeah, there's that instead of coming out. But did you hear about the AMC? It filed for bankruptcy.
Did they really?
Yeah, because they ain't got no people going into their thing.
That's nuts, man.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? I mean, they go into bankruptcy. Usually companies can still come out of bankruptcy, so somebody just buys them out.
Back in the day, that was a thing. Ever since the big damn bailouts, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of car companies that were just like they should have went down, but they didn't, and we bailed them out. So we just did some kind of a weird thing.
So where are we gonna watch stuff?
They filed for bankruptcy. Doesn't mean they're gone, right? Does it?
Well, I mean, the structures are still going to be there, right? The theaters are still going to be there.
No shit. I don't know. Right? I mean, you got no theaters, you got no income. How does that work?
Man, that's rough, man. I thought it was going to hit like the workers hard. I didn't think it was going to hit the corporation.
Well, the economy is like a big melding pot. I mean, that's why that's why Republicans are always fighting for like less minimum wage, shit like that. Because the reality is corporations, I hate to say it, shouldn't exist, by the way, but they do. And so that because they exist, you kind of need them because you need to get paid by them. They need to get money from you. So it's a whole economy of things, you know? So if there's no money going to them through the theaters, you know, popcorn and shit, they're not making any money. So they can't hire anybody. It just breaks. The whole system breaks because no one's working.
Damn, but honestly, I thought they'd be able to hang in longer than a month.
I mean, most people can't hang in a month. What makes you think a corporation could? They're just like a person. In fact, they're legally
Because they
considered
have
a person.
assets, you know?
Their assets are the things with the selling of the popcorn and shit.
But see, that's why I think it's because bankruptcy is protection.
Yes, it is.
So I think they're trying to conserve something. Then I'm gonna have to read about it.
Yeah, I don't know the logistics. I know for like if I file for bankruptcy, I don't die. You know, it's just that I get rid of all my bills.
Bankruptcy.
Yeah, the easiest way, because what corporations are actually legally people. So if you think of it as a person that just goes bankruptcy, trying to save his assets.
Well, I think it's mainly to keep creditors from coming after them.
Yeah.
You know, it basically stops that, but they lose other rights to assets. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up, man. That's pretty crazy. I don't know how it works with corporations.
It works better for them than us. So if you file for bankruptcy, you can't borrow money again.
You're.
But they need to borrow money. They don't. It doesn't really matter because they just make money. You know. I mean, they don't make money, but like they sell the movie or people buy popcorn. They get money. You know, things like that. I always use popcorn because it's the only thing I really buy at the movie theater.
Yeah, I'm worried about my barber.
What? Oh yeah, I need hair too.
Getting long, man.
Yeah, look at my shit. I look like a fucking clown. Or Tono Banderas.
I'm starting to look like, well, my hair is starting to look like Henry Cavill. Fucking.
Everyone's complaining about that. I mean, why the fucking hair salons, dude? A fucking McDonald's stays open. Why not a hair salon?
Well, because they have to touch your face and your hair and your head. And
Well, not just haircut people. Like there's haircut people.
what
Oh,
do you,
that reminds me. I was gonna say, so an inadvertent consequence of this going down was something in Mexico. So I'm gonna lead you into this and see if you can guess it. People have no money because they don't work, right?
right?
People who go to Mexico, right? So unintended consequences is a certain sect of people in TJ don't have money anymore. So what who there needs money from America, TJ, because no one's going over there.
Everybody down there, but especially spring break, nobody going down there to
That's spring break, yeah, but
put any
there's a,
bills, and bongs, and
yeah, no one's stripping.
yeah, yeah.
And no one's stripping that cock. Yeah, all the prostitutes, they ain't got no money. That's a news article. I read that shit.
You're going there.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
can't
I mean, what about here though? I mean, I'm sure it's not just limited to them down there, but the
escorts we call.
well, yeah,
And then you could just do fuck if I could do Zoom with you, I'm pretty confident.
pretty
there's-
big business down there, man. I mean, I hate to say it,
But
there's
like no, but think about it. We can't us Americans can't go there and do our thing or whatever. Not you and me, but you know what I mean, generalized Americans. They can't go there. What the fuck do they do? Because they need that shit.
well, the other thing is, with the dollar getting really strong, it's getting more expensive for people from TJ to come to, or from Mexico to come to this side to buy things too.
I thought they've closed the border though.
It's not closed. It's closed to non-essential travel, and it's still open to trade.
Can you go right now to Mexico?
I don't know. I wouldn't even try, dude.
No, I know that, but I mean, like, as in, like, what is the fuck, I don't even know the logistics of all that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I could. I'm pretty brown, so they might not ask me anything.
But you won't be able to get back in, you think?
They might give me shit on the way back in. They might tell me don't come back through here anymore. But
You think that? Like,
my mom, I think I'd be able to do it.
I know this one girl, hardcore Mexican, like more Mexican than most Mexicans. When she's from one of them weird places, right? So she goes there, right? And they had those federales talk to her and her sister, and they said something, and I guess they gave them attitude, like American attitude, and boom, she was in prison for fucking a month. I mean,
Down there, you're in jail and you're guilty until proven innocent.
yeah, that's fucking it.
My stepdad, he was at the border, waiting to cross, and what the people do, the poor people, they'll jump in front of nice vehicles
What? Well,
and
yeah,
get hit by them.
that makes sense.
Call the cops over, and the cops have to do an investigation. And until they finish their investigation, you can't leave the country. So usually the person has to pay up. So you just gotta be really careful. Even if you're just driving really slow in line to come back, you just gotta make sure nobody jumps in front of your damn car. I'm sure those guys are hurting for business too. Man, there's no cars to jump in front of. The hell?
Check this one out. I'm going to show you something real quick. Let me get this fucking thing. Read this headline.
Standing with trousers on?
This is fucking crazy. Now, here's the second crazy thought. I highlighted it for you. Read that highlight.
Her husband, hearing a baby's cries, removed her pants to reveal the newborn's head, while their daughters, aged 2 and 12, witnessed the event.
So basically, I read the whole thing. So this lady, right? She's from Guadalajara, and so there she is, right, with her kids, her whole family. They're just trying to get in, right? And so she's like, "Oh, it hurts. Ah, shit, it hurts." But she must be one of many people screaming at the Border Patrol. So they're probably looking at the lady like, "This fucking lady," and she's just like, so she's on this trash can, right? And I guess she gives birth, which is funny. Is because when you read it, he goes like this. I heard the baby cry, and that's what I knew. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, so you're saying that the baby came out? Because I thought when babies were born, they come out and then you just have to spank them to make them cry. I didn't know they came out like this. they're like that's how I read it. I mean, fuck, you know.
I do something similar with my students.
You be born. You just go through a paper
No,
bag.
when we're talking about numbers, and measuring, when they measure something, they want to start with one, right?
Okay.
1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. I go, no, you can't measure something and start at one. You start at zero. This is 0, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch.
Makes sense.
It doesn't make sense for them. So what I do is I kind of break it down. I tell them, you didn't come sliding out of your mom and then land on the floor of the hospital and be 1 year old. How old were you? Were you 1 or were you 0? And that's where you see like the light bulb go off and the dam burst and like, oh, okay, you got to start at 0 because.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing that the concept of 0 is an amazing thing. It's actually an invention of the Romans. They're like 0, like everyone's just like, what's this? What is this? I think it's the Romans. They came up with 0.
Oh damn, dude!
Or was it Greek?
I
No, they took a dick in the ass. I know that. Romans.
I thought it was in the Americas.
No. It's Greece or Romans. Who invented?
Well, the Romans. I don't think it was the Romans because the Romans didn't have a 0. They used Roman numerals. It's either in the Middle East or the Mayas.
I think we're all wrong. It looks like some Indian bullshit. Let me see. So it's fairly new. It's an AD thing.
Yeah.
Today, both blah blah. The Indian really seen as the greatest early history angel 0. Well, this is not good podcast. Discovering
the 0 is a placeholder.
It is.
And I think the Mayans had placeholders in their math that the Romans didn't.
I thought the Romans discovered 0, but I just read some Indian guy did. The Hindu people.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to look it up. We'll come back. Us mathematicians here.
I thought it was in the Middle East. That's kind of where algebra came from. But
just the concept of 0. I remember I was an electrician and we were on what was it? Decks or bays or something like that, right? And there was 10, 15, 20. And I saw, I'm sitting there, I'm doing some box, right? And I see this guy, he's doing this, he's going like this.
Yeah.
And I go, what's going on? Because we were on number 15, it was frames. Right, we're on frame 15 and we came from 10. And he was like, I don't get it. If we're on frame 15, how come when I count from 10 to 15, it goes, it's 4 or something like that. I forgot what it was. It was 11. And I was like.
So we count in the base 10 system, right?
Yeah.
So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 10 is the one with the 0 after.
Exactly. And I was like, I looked at him and just for a second, I was like, wait, let me do it too. I was like, what's the laptop? And I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, idiot. 10 is a 0. Think about a 0 and then 5, and then you go there. And he's like, oh. And I was like, God damn, dude. If you let stupid get in, it takes root.
Well, it's interesting, when you start thinking about, because I took a class and it was messing with our heads about the base counting system. So I mean, if we use base 10 because we have 10 fingers.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to count, base 10. But if we had evolved with 8 fingers, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
Why?
Because we wouldn't have an 8 or a 9.
Oh. So we would naturally evolve to just skip and go to a 10?
We would just go to 10. and then all of our other math would it still works out. It still shakes out, even if you change the base. The rules all still work. You got to learn a new multiplication chart, and that's pretty much it. But addition, subtraction, all of those rules still work. There's also a base 5 system, 1, 2, 3, 4. They call it Fen. So it's not 5 anymore. It's a 5, but it's a 10. So Fen. And then instead of 11, it's Fen 1. So it's Fen 1, Fen 2, Fen 3, Fen 4.
This is made up math though.
It's not made up math. It's base 5 math.
There's an actual base 5 math. Who discovered base 5 math?
It's just people that are doing like thought experiments about different working different bases.
Oh, here's a thought experiment.
I think they use it to compress data in computer programs too.
Check it out. This is there's variations of this, but it's like this. If you put your hand right here at this distance and you kept halving the distance, you will never touch. Your hands will never touch it by math. Because you can never, isn't that crazy though? Like if I go 1 and then 0.5 and then 0.25 and I keep going, it'll never end. Do the hands ever actually touch? But like you obviously feel your hands touching.
They are, but they aren't.
Those are one of the 5 paradoxes that ever in philosophy or something like that. I saw that on a YouTube video.
I mean, if they were touching, they would actually be fused together.
Huh.
You know?
Yeah.
If you could get the atoms in your palms to get close enough to where the electrons are touching each other, all of a sudden you might actually be destroying those surfaces by adding electrons and breaking up those molecules.
Well, take away everything. And you got an atom and an atom. And you're trying to put them together. And if same thought experiment, you keep reducing it by half, would they ever even touch? I mean, mathematically, they never will.
You talk about 2 different atoms getting closer together?
Take the subatomic particle, just the fucking, like, the smallest thing you can think of, and you put them.
Atoms share electrons with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is possible for 2 atoms to touch each other, but that's what I'm saying. When 2 atoms connect, they create a new substance.
Yeah. No. How about what's the smallest substance? A molecule? Like what?
Yeah, it's a molecule.
So one molecule to another molecule.
But see, the molecules in our hands, are they compatible with each other? Can we bring them together?
I think you're losing the thought experiment here. Not losing it, but you're losing the spirit of it. If you have 2 molecules, small substances you could think of, there's nothing else past that as far as we know, and you put them together and you keep reducing the number by half, they will never touch mathematically.
Yeah, right. Because the distance would become infinitely further into the decimal point.
Isn't that weird though? And they will never touch.
Wait. Yeah, I've thought of that sometimes. Was it Bill Nye did one where he takes a piece of cheese and then he cuts it in half and 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 he says, you'll never be able to stop cutting it in half. And then eventually you get down to like cutting it in between 2 different molecules of cheese. Then you cut that molecule in half, you end up with the atoms. You cut the atom in half. Well, what's the center of the nucleus, the neutrons and the protons? Well, you start cutting those, and what do you get to the half of those?
I have no idea.
Was that
guest star Jessica?
Oh,
waste management extraordinaire.
nice.
Water person? Huh? Oh, you chose okay. I was gonna say something. Bill Nye. That brought me to another thought. What do you think of Bill Nye right now?
I haven't really been watching his stuff right now.
Have you seen the Netflix special?
Is it good?
Okay, so it came out 3 years back, I think, and I was like, oh, Bill Nye the Science Guy. I used to love watching this guy as a kid, right? So I watch it with my kid, and he went woke, dude. It's like, yeah, and I was like, I didn't get it. Like, I was, what's happening?
The little bits that I've seen, he's almost like in your face, almost like judging people. It feels like, you know, little clips that I've seen. It's not that same playful, hey, let's learn and have fun learning. Bill Nye. He's really passionate about climate change.
I see. Well, there's that, but there's also like genders. Okay, so for instance, there is a Bill Nye the Science Guy back in the day when science was a little bit different, and he's like, there's only 2 genders. And he goes on about it. He took X and Y chromosome and all that. And then fast forward to now, it's like there's many genders. And it's like it's like he undid what he did.
I mean, you learn more things about what's going on with the X's and the Y's. Yeah, there's intergenders.
Yeah, but like when you're talking science, you're not talking about the extremes. You're always talking about the majority.
Right.
I mean, it's like, you know what I mean?
It's not an everyday occurrence that you end up with somebody that's born intersex.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous to have conversations in ways of, because it's an extreme possibility of something. You know what I mean? Like you could say, well, that's a good guy. Well, not really, because sometimes on one day he might be a bad guy. You know, like you wouldn't get anywhere with any kind of conversation.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to be inclusive, you know.
For like 0.003% of the population.
Right. The thing is that there's a closed-minded section of the population that it's just not going to accept anything, no matter how you present it to them.
Now you think about that for a second. How big? That I think this is growing. This conversation is growing. How big of a population do you think that, or percentage of a population is closed-minded? Do you think?
How big is Trump's base?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But no, don't knock them. They're not all like that.
No. I'm talking about his base, his hardcore base, that you can show them anything that he's ever done or said, and they're still going to stand behind him.
I've encountered that, but I've also encountered the opposite. So when you say that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have the liberal side too. You know, you could present anything you want to them, and they're still going to want, you know, like free healthcare for every single person on the planet, and you know, free college for every single person on the planet. Mathematically, the numbers don't shake out. I get it.
Yeah.
But in the terms of, you know,
but like realistically, do you really think, because like not every Republican's closed-minded, and not every Democrat's closed-minded. So when you have, I'll say 50%. If you have 50% of Republicans, I don't know, that doesn't do right. That means then, is Democrat and Republican half the population?
There's something called it's called the diffusion of innovation, right?
Okay.
When there's this new idea, when there's this new idea, oh shit, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Let me show you. So when there's this new idea, there's a way to get that idea out into the public, and sometimes this new idea is like really radical, and not everybody is going to dig it right away.
I agree.
Saturation point. But the problem is you can't get discouraged. So let me share my screen with you really quick here. This was really interesting because it'll help us to keep from trying to shout at the clouds. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Do I have to do? Oh, okay.
So with the diffusion of innovation, there's a really good video. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube. So you have some new idea that comes out. Let's say toilet paper, right? Okay, hey guys, we invented this thing called toilet paper. Then you have the early adopters. They're like, wow, this is a radical new idea. This sounds great. You know, take this shit off my ass and not walk around with a stinky ass all day long, you know, or have to go down to the river and contaminate the water. So these early adopters, they take it, they use it, it's great. They tell this group of people right here, and the usage goes up. So the amount of usage goes up. This line down here is the total population.
Okay, I hear you.
So the usage goes up. And then once it hits the late majority of people, that there's a point in here, it's called critical mass. It's like, you know what, there's so many people using it that now it starts to become a normal thing where it's just normal to have toilet paper in your house.
Okay.
And you always have the laggards. And these are the ones that wait for everybody else to be using it to finally say, you know what, I guess I'll give in and start using this shit. You know what I'm saying? So the problem is sometimes the innovators that have this new idea, this new concept, here we're talking about inclusivity, they're trying to scream at everybody. But there's some people that you're not going to get to.
I
You
agree.
you have to let it diffuse itself, spread throughout everywhere. And that's why when some people come at uh, certain movements and they're coming at it really, really hard, acting as if everybody's against them, that's not true. There's a group of people that are with them, and they need to let it happen over time. Now, there's some shit that needs to happen sooner rather than later. I'm talking like civil rights movement, slavery, women's vote. That stuff
Yeah.
needs to happen quicker, right? And that's when you need government to step in and basically say, you know what, everybody should be using toilet paper because it's a public health, thing. Okay, laggards, that's where we start to create laws, because we can't wait for the diffusion of ideas. But sometimes you got to accept, you might have some great new ideas, something, that makes sense and it's going to help us in the long run, but you're always going to have a group of people that are going to resist it until it becomes the new norm, and they're looking around and they're like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
Hmm. I could see this applied to many things in both ways. In
Yep.
the sense of, say, for
So
Trump supporters, for instance, you could literally make this an argument for everyone needs to vote for Trump, because you have your early adopters, and then those are your Republicans, and then the early majority. That's because some Democrats have to vote for him to become president. That's just the reality. You
so
can't
that
just
so that becomes like a battle of one side versus the other. You have the laggards might think that they're innovators, but the thing is, laggards are usually, they don't want to change something. They want to conserve the status quo.
they want to keep everything the same. Now,
They
if you
are conservatives.
like I no, well, no, let me finish. Think about that for a second. For 8 years, you had Obama, right?
Yeah.
And now you have a Trump. Now, like I said before, the laggards could literally be the people who are. I'm not really
Here's
in this. I'm just
here's
showing
what
you how you
here's
can
what
manipulate this.
here's what happened there. Voting, okay? And even Trump has talked about this. He accidentally let it slip that if more people vote, a Republican will never get elected again. He said this shit.
Yeah.
Voting is something that a lot of innovators try to push, and there's a lot of early adopters and a lot of early majority people, but there's a lot of people that are over here that don't see the point. And until it becomes a thing where everybody votes and it's just a normal thing for November whatever Tuesday to come out, and you go do your thing and you go vote, and then nobody needs to wear an I voted sticker because you could just pretty much assume that everybody voted. Until that happens, you're going to have a lot of people that aren't voting, and you're going to have a lot of conservative power and conservative momentum only because people aren't showing up.
When you say everyone should vote, I mean, you know what extrapolates this better is sci-fi. Sci-fi does this good because there's an episode in the Orville where everybody could vote, and everybody has to vote. So it became a thing of popularity, and you would have some guy, I guess he spit on something, and then everyone just voted for him to die, that kind of thing. So like, you think about the people that you talk to, and not everyone's on the same track. So when you have everybody voting, a lot of weird things could happen. I know. I preach
You have
about
a lot
this.
of uninformed voters out there voting.
Yeah.
Winston Churchill,
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing this, but he said the best argument against democracy is a 5-minute conversation with the average voter.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
And he was basically saying, there's a lot of people that aren't informed.
Yeah.
And if those people are making decisions for everybody else, then there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that side. I think the more people that vote, the better. Because then everyone's going to realize, oh shit, I need to know my shit.
I don't think so. I don't think people work that way. People work off incentives, and they kind of mimic whatever other people say. And it's only like the rare few, like in fact, let me bring that up here. When you use this line right here, can you see what I'm doing when I'm pointing at it?
I need to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, you'll get a select few people, like you and me are talking about these issues, right? But not everyone's talking about these issues. I would consider us early adopters of anything, or maybe innovators. So, and then we kind of grow from there. But a lot of people just parrot other people talking. There's no one that really actually has a good grasp of what's going on. You know, most people like it. Like there's you, there's me. Yeah, we're talking, but like let's go to a Starbucks and have this conversation. Most people will just kind of go with whatever's on TV, whatever they watch. You know, whatever they get their scripture from. You know, just take media away. We had religion, and then everyone was all about that shit. You know, Father Joe could have been fucking doing all sorts of stuff to kids, but you wouldn't question that shit. Now you have your media, and they're doing shit to other people, and now they're falling down. But it's still the same thing. You get people just fucking okay. For instance, this whole 5G thing. People literally think the 5G is causing the coronavirus. Did you hear about this?
I heard something about that, or cancer or something.
No.
I
Well,
heard about it. I haven't read about it because
cancer a while back. That was a while back before 5G came out. But now it's causing the coronavirus. It just so happens that 5G is in the places of the most dense populations of coronavirus. But do you understand the stupidity of that? Because it's in dense areas. Like you're
well,
not going to get 5G in Arkansas, you know, or maybe you do. I don't know.
came out today. 40%. This was in New York. 40% of the people that have died of coronavirus were African American. So not just minorities, just African American.
And I heard Fauci, or Fauci, what is his name?
Fauci.
Fauci, he said that. He said something about that. And I was like, oh, but I have a theory about that.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I thought you said, okay.
I froze.
It could be, this might be racist, diabetes. Because that's one of the high risk things, you know, like there's old people, diabetes, heart hypertension. And it just seems to be that a lot of African American population, I don't know the stats, but they do get diabetes quite a bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't break it down if I wouldn't break it down by race. I would break it down by because the if you
But
break it
that's
down,
what you're doing. But like what he did was
I
break
know,
it
I
down.
know, I know. What they were hinting at by looking at that number was that there's inequities between race
Health.
and gender.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to disagree with that, but not because of race. You're not genetically more predisposed to get coronavirus because of the color of your skin.
Well,
You,
sickle cell.
we're talking about coronavirus, not
I know,
a.
I know, but like, I mean, there's a precedence for that.
Yeah, but sickle cell, that's genetic. That's something else. That's not a virus. That's not.
I know, but like, this is a virus that attaches itself to you.
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about dark skin. Dark skin is also genetic. That gets passed on too. Same thing, eye shape, lips, nose, all that stuff too.
I hear you.
Maybe there's a link. Maybe there's a link.
We don't know.
But I think that they should be looking at socioeconomic status. So how much money people make, and then how many of those people are getting sick. So like, is it the more money you make, the less sick you get, or what? And I think they're gonna.
But rich people be getting it.
The more sick you're gonna be.
But rich people be getting it. You know, Como and.
But at what rate? That's my question. What's the percentage?
Well, there's less of them than there is average people.
That's why you do a percentage, Kevin.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean,
so you could do the comparison.
How come no one's ever done that? They just went right straight for the black people.
Because they don't want that to get out.
Can you imagine that for people? They extended. Did you know in our state of Michigan, they've extended the what is it called? The closing.
Yeah, the guidelines.
Yeah, they closed the state for another month.
Yeah, I think nationwide, the federal guidelines got extended to the end of this month, but it's still state by state. I mean, your governor could decide to say, I'm going to supersede the president because we're in our state, and this is the way it's going to be.
What do you think? There's like the number of unemployment's going up.
That's a problem, man. I mean, the less you make, the harder it is to take days off of work. So it's going to make you more likely to take the risk of going to work.
Mm-hmm. But if you can't work,
then that's something else. But I mean, I'm talking about like the people that are in those essential jobs, but maybe they coughed or something, but they're like, oh man, I can't afford to skip.
I know, I agree with you there, but I mean, there's a lot of jobs out there that are non-essential, like I consider non-essential, like haircuts, I don't know.
Okay, think of what's open right now. and think of how much money people make at those places that are open right now.
That's all minimum wage.
It's all minimum wage.
But there's a lot of jobs that aren't even there that are just closed. Like haircut people are making
Now
that much.
think of jobs that can be done from home. Are those minimum wage jobs?
No, they're not.
They're not.
Yeah.
So, I'm lucky I can work from home.
Yeah.
So I can self-isolate and still keep making money because,
But there's
I'm
a
in-
lot of there's a lot of jobs that are poor, like not your job, but poor, and they're gone. There's more poor people in this country not working.
You're right. You're right.
And there was poor people already. Now
Yeah,
they're not working.
You're like, like mowing lawns and stuff because I don't know what's up with the Social Security, but he's out here doing, random jobs for people. He's out there hustling.
Well,
I don't know what people are gonna have to do, but people are gonna expose themselves. People are more likely to take risks.
that can't be everybody. There has to be a lot like you say if a McDonald's shuts down, that's like 10 employees.
Is McDonald's shut down?
Fuck, you're right. It isn't. It's only drive-through, but they had to let people go.
Yeah, I'm sure they've cut hours, but it's still the same number. Actually, if anything, I think there might be a drive-through boom right now because this girl I know, she works for this coffee chain, and they closed all of their plate. It's like a Starbucks. Instead of going into the Starbucks, they're only having the drive-through Starbucks is open. So all the ones where you dine in are closed, and all the drive-through ones are open. And so I think the drive-throughs are seeing a boom. I went to Raising Cane's. The line was longer than I've seen it in a long time. Like since they opened it. When they opened it, the line was as long as it was today, and that was about a year and a half ago.
I just read 6.6 million people unemployment. 6.6 million unemployment.
That was a week and a half ago.
I just read that now. That's 13 hours ago. Ranks up by 6.6. Jobless claims soar third straight.
6?
I guess it goes U.S. jobless claims soar for a third straight week.
Damn.
So it just keeps going up, because businesses need money. If the businesses aren't getting the money, they can't afford the people. So they got that's a thing. People are getting all pissed and shit. They're like, they're not getting paid by their bosses. People are getting pissed at the man. I read this one thing. All right, so this lady or landlord guy goes, I have to start kicking people out because he can't. Because what some people do, and this is a lot, they get a loan, buy a property, and rent it out, and they're still paying this loan, and they're banking on this person paying the rent. They can't pay the rent, so they got to kick them out and hopefully get somebody else in. And then the people are like, what the fuck? This guy's a piece of shit. This guy's sipping his tea and latte and thinking this guy's rich.
They're not usually rich. They're better off sometimes, but
they're better. Yeah, I know. But
they can't afford to skip, a $2,500 mortgage payment, just for shits,
Yeah, dude, the middle classes drop, the poor class, I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. The middle classes are breaking.
What makes you doing deferments though?
Have you seen how to do that though? You have to fill all this paperwork out. It's not easy.
I got a deferment on one of my cars for 3 months.
You did? For free?
Well, it's still going to accrue interest.
Oh, because my wife did that for college, and 0 interest for a year.
Yes. Well, not for a year. Mine's until September.
Well, there's some kind of a thing, and it's until a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she just did it.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have to look at that then because.
Yeah, there's a word. She had to use They told her. It's not like she knew. She just called to see if she could just defer it, and we would just did the interest thing, like you said. Right. But then she said, because of some kind of a thing, 0 interest.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yeah, we saved $200 doing that a month.
Yeah, well, what I'm trying to do is, I'm coming out of this marriage, left me shit in debt. I'm trying to brace for the worst because I'm also supposed to be losing my job in July. So, I'm kind of getting ready for that.
Yeah.
If I can get my bills down,
And
Then,
what happens when you lose your job because you work at a school? Do you just go to another school?
no, it'll be. I'll have to apply for unemployment and start applying at other districts.
Oh, is that if your district goes down? I mean, I go down, but if your district can't afford you, does that mean other districts can?
Some districts are in better financial positions than others. Um,
Oh, rich people.
ours was pretty corrupt for a long time.
And you work with poor people.
Uh, yeah, and our district that works with Title One low income families, uh,
Yeah,
they
it's
were corrupt.
poor. Shut the fuck up.
There's $30 million missing for
Yeah.
some reason, and nobody knows where it went. And
You know, it's funny. More of like most times I hear about like schools fucking people over and getting money. It's usually the poor schools. You never hear this shit from like rich schools. The only time you hear of a scandal is when like some kids finger blasted some chick. Or some
well,
shit.
and I'm not blasting low income families, but low income families usually don't have the time or the energy to be as invested at the school board meetings, at the PTA meetings. They just they're if it's a single parent, family and they're working two jobs or whatever, they're less likely to go and actually keep an eye on what the district's doing because
What the fuck does that matter? Okay, so I'm a parent. I'm paying attention to the PTA. I mean, I'm in the PTA and I'm paying attention to the district. What the fuck?
so there's oversight, right, from the parents and from the community members. But if the community members don't take the time to go or don't have the time to go and participate and get informed on what the board is doing, then the board just does whatever they want.
That sounds like an unrealistic thing. I just can't imagine people getting together.
So, so let me put it this way: there's teachers that teach at the rich kid schools. All those parents usually they've got post high school education. They're working pretty good jobs where they get paid vacations and healthcare, and they got time and energy to go and like check and see and look over the teacher's shoulder to see what they're doing. So there's some people that don't like working at those schools because they don't want to have to be checked up on by the parents, and they actually like being at the lower income schools because the parents kind of tend to just drop the kids off and okay kid, this is your responsibility, this is your job, you do this, don't make my problems your problems.
You know what they should do? They should come up with like a Miami Vice, or not a Miami Vice, like a 21 Jump Street kind of thing for schools, where they investigate these people, but instead of acting like a kid, they act like a teacher.
Yeah, it's so hard to get rid of a bad teacher. It costs the district about $300,000 to $400,000 in lawyers fees to get rid of a teacher.
Yeah, I remember that was a thing. Like this one teacher did it with a student, and then like they just moved him like a priest. I was like, fuck, that's fucking hardcore. How do you get into that position?
You just be there long enough.
Oh, so you just have to. That's a weird
You gotta
system.
be there long enough.
Yeah, then you can finger blast kids left and right.
Pretty crazy.
Let me share this link.
All right, man. I gotta go do family time.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that. I was like, shit. You know what's weird? Okay, you're only supposed to get 40 minutes for meetings, but for some reason we got an hour.
Yeah, they extended it for a lot of people
Why? I didn't even do anything.
to raise their stock price, man. A lot of people are gonna be buying Zoom here.
That's true. I actually looked up the stock
Yeah.
price. It did go up.
Again, Zoom was not being used. This whole, video conferencing thing, people were using it. And you had those early adopters, and now it's becoming an early majority and late majority because this is the only way to communicate.
I
Now,
went to.
the people at like my school that never wanted to use technology or online sources, they're like this right now, trying to freaking figure stuff out
Yeah.
because that's the only way they can work with their kids.
They added some kind of a feature ever since they got like pirated by Nazi loving people. They made it so like, okay, so when you went to join, I have to actually click on the button to have you invited.
Yeah, that's to filter people, and then also before the access code was just numbers. Now it's numbers and letters with
Yeah,
lowercase.
Yeah, I seen that. I was like, God, this is very complicated. Because before it was like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, and it's the reason why a lot of schools don't want to use Zoom because they don't want the sites to get hacked. Not so much because people can get in, but because people can extract the videos. So, you don't want your kid's face all over the internet, you
I
don't
really thought it was more of a, like, you're talking to somebody and a big dick pops up or some shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm a hacker.
there's
And
that, but the security thing on our end, I mean, we could kick that person out or whatever, but the real thing that I would be worried about would be like an image of one of the students getting deep faked onto some porn star or something.
I didn't even think about that. Oh my God. That's
Could you
terrible.
imagine your kid's face?
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm trying to separate the thoughts. I mean, when you said that shit. You know what? Here's one more thing. Okay, so behind you are books, right?
Yeah.
Behind me are books.
Right.
Now, I did not do that on purpose. I just moved seats.
Right.
No, because like usually I sit over here. I'll show you. Show you the spot right there. That sofa right there. Or that recliner. Did I show you it?
That's where you were last time? That's where you were last time.
Yeah. And I was thinking, you know what? The lighting should be better right here because there's lighting all around.
It's very well lit. It's a lot better right there where you're at.
Well, you could light the whole area up over there, but it just works better right here.
It looks better with the books behind you too.
I know, right? But it's not like, yeah, I guess so. I'm smart. Okay. I got all this. I've read all these books, every single one. All right, man.
I was gonna say the audience don't know, but now they know.
I don't. We have what, 16 views? I think those are bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I want to see a comment. Like, I even put a little comment in the last one. I was like, this is the coolest podcast ever.
Was it in Russian?
No, I'm the one who put it. No.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we get some good ones, but I'm really hoping for hate. I'd rather have that.
Yeah, hate spurs discussion.
All right, cool. Let's get off. All right.
Peace out.
See you later. Peace out.